Hi, my name is Brandy Horn. I'm an instruction and reference librarian at the Great Graniteville Library. Your professor, Dr. Hanson, called a little while ago asking about some specific journals to see how to provide access to you to these journals. And she sent me a list of 4 journal titles, and there's only 2 of the 4 that you can get access to through our resources, or really they're open access journals, so anyone can get to them. So I'm going to show you how to find those journals, and I'm also going to show you how just a really very brief introduction to databases in education that you can also use to potentially browse for the within the subject area that she's got you working with. As far as the 2 journals that you do have access to, honestly, you could just Google them and get access to them, but I'm going to use this opportunity to show you how to use the eJournal Finder on the library's website, because that is still a useful tool and it'll be good for you to know how to use that. So on the library's homepage, in the center search box, we have these different tabs. It defaults to Books and More, but right now we want to click on the eJournals tab. And in this search box, what you would type in is the title of a specific journal. So one of the ones that your professor sent was IE Inquiry and Education. And I'm going to type in that journal title and search. And the tools move very slowly, so I apologize. It's going to take a bit to load. Okay. In the results list, we do have this one result, and it doesn't have the full journal title like as we saw it, but we do see that this is an education journal. We see here that says available online. When you scroll down, it says view online, full text availability, and the link that it provides here again is an open access journal database. So we're going to click the link that it provides, and it takes us to the main page of the journal. Okay, now a couple things to kind of pay attention to. Different databases, different resources will have different interfaces. The 2 journals I'm going to show you right now have almost exactly the same interface, but the kinds of things that you're looking for if you encounter different databases are something like this on the right hand side, where it says select an issue and it goes through all the volumes and issues. You may see some link that says past issues or archive or something like that. You're looking for something to indicate that you can navigate to all the published issues. So if you're looking for a specific article and you have a citation for it, that means you've got like the article title, you've got the volume and issue number and page range. You can scroll down until you find the right volume and issue, click on it, and it'll pull it up, and you can just scroll through that till you find the specific article that you're looking for. If you're researching general concepts, you can type those in and search that way, and it'll search within that publication for those specific concepts. But if you're just browsing, on the right hand side, you can just click Browse. And similar to this drop-down menu, you're going to have all these volumes and issues, and then you can select an issue and scroll through and look at the articles that are there. If you come across something that looks like it's exactly what you're looking for, you can read the abstract. You can click on the title, then read the abstract. The abstract is going to be a general summary or overview of the article. Depending on the specific place that you're looking at the article, there could be a place where you can just scroll through it if you want. But if you want the PDF, you can click up here where it says View Full Text. That'll pull up the PDF of the article, which again you can scroll through and read. You can also, in the upper right hand corner, click the download and be able to save it to your computer. Right? So if you are searching for these 2 journals, the other one that we have, let's see, we close out of all this. Networks. Online Journal for Teacher Research. And it looks like both of these are the same, I think. But we click on that. Again, we have the full text availability down here. We click on that. And it takes us to open access resource, and it's set up the same way, only the options that we looked at just before that were on the right are now on the left hand side, but the navigation is still basically the same. So of the journals that your professor is interested in you having access to, you can get to these two through the library's homepage. Now, closing out of all this, going back to the library's homepage, if you're doing research, if you just want to browse and look at articles in that area of education access research, or education action research, education action research. It's hard to say. On the library's homepage again, the center search box again, we have the books and more, we have the databases, but we have this tab that says research guides. And if you click the drop down menu there, you'll see that there is a guide for education. So this is an alphabetical listing of guides according to subject, and each subject guide contains resources where you can conduct research on that specific subject area, or within that specific subject area. So we can click the education guide and click go. So here we have the main page of the guide, but if you look at the tabs across the top, you can see that there's a tab that says Find Articles. If you click that, it takes you to a list of databases where you could do research in this subject area. Generally, these lists of articles are organized kind of according to priority or usefulness. So you can usually assume that the first database is probably your best bet, or and then second and third and on down. So notice that the top three, actually the top two, say EBSCO next to them. Academic Search Premier doesn't say EBSCO, but that is also an EBSCO database. Chances are you have used Academic Search Premier before. And so if you're comfortable with that interface, these top three you can use fairly easily. So we'll just click on the first one. Now, it's going to take me straight into the database because I'm already logged in. But if you're not logged in, whether you're on campus or off campus, it doesn't matter. It's going to prompt you to log in. And the way you're going to log in is you're going to use your full email address and your email password. And that should get you into the database. So your full email address, your full university email, and your university email password should get you in. If you run into problems, you can always contact us and let us know, and we'll try to figure out what's going on. But once you get into the database, again, if you've used Academic Search Premier before, this looks familiar to you, okay? So just, I know that this is kind of the very top level thing that your professor is having you look at. You can type that into the first box as a search term and click search. And then we see using that search term, we get 759 results. But we are getting a kind of a combination of different types of sources. We're getting academic journals, which are peer-reviewed journal articles, but we're also getting reports like government reports and things like that. If you're allowed to use reports as something to look at, then you can leave it this way. If you're limited to just peer-reviewed articles, on the left-hand side, we can click peer-reviewed and it takes all the reports out. So now we're down to 482. You'll see that a lot of these things have full text from ERIC, right? And if you come across something like that, that means the full text is not available in this database, but you can click it. And you have, again, the abstract, which is going to be a general summary or overview of the article, but on the right-hand side at the top, you'll have the download full text. Okay, so you can download the full text article that way. If you come across something that says find it next to it, again, it's not full text in this database, but it might be full text in one of our other databases. You can click it, and if it is available elsewhere, there will be a link. If it's not, then you can sign in and probably request it through interlibrary loan if you want to read the full text of the article. Now, if you do a bunch of these and none of them lead you out to other databases, like this one's not available either, and you're getting frustrated with those, on the left-hand side, you can limit to full text, and that will take anything out that you can't get to full text access, right? So we've gone from 400 and something articles to 142, right? And you can scroll through and see what kinds of things are there. Another thing that you can do to kind of limit your searching, I'm going to take off the full text so I have a few more articles to work with. On the left-hand side, if you're not sure like how to limit it further, you can click subject. and click Show More. And if you want to limit to higher education, if you want to limit to teaching methods, if you want to limit it to any of these kinds of specific elements, you can click one thing at a time. You can click multiple things at a time. Let's say I'm at Action Research, and I'm also going to do elementary, secondary education and update that. And now I go from 400 and something articles to 376. So it doesn't go down much, but it did go down some. And you can keep going to that. It's going to get more and more specific each time, right? And you can keep limiting if you want to do that. Now, I'm going to click New Search. This is searching just ERIC, but remember I said that these top 3 databases are all EBSCO databases. So if we look at the top of this database here and we see the EBSCO logo and we see that we're searching this specific database, but we can click the Choose Databases. Notice that ERIC is checked off, but we also have Education Full Text and we also have Academic Search Premier, which are the top 3 listed here. If we select all 3 of these and click OK, that means we can select all 3. We can search all three of those databases at one time. Okay. The first 2 are education specific resources. Academic Search Premier is general, and it covers all subject areas. But because it covers all subject areas, it's a perfectly fine place to start. So again, we can do Education Action Research and search. And when we did just one database, we had 700 and something results. Now we have almost 3,000. Okay. And again, on the left-hand side, you can limit to full text, or excuse me, you can limit to peer-reviewed. You can limit to full text as well. Here we have subject, but we also have subject thesaurus term, which is a very similar function. Again, you can go through and select the more specific things if you want. Action, education, action, research, and education. And we're down to 726, and we can scroll through and see what things are there, right? And this allows us to browse. We can use the date slider to not, let's say you don't want anything older than 2000, and we do that. So now we have 637, right? But again, this left-hand column is to help you limit your results to something more manageable. But you can go through and browse. If you come across something that looks exactly like the kind of thing that you want, you can click on the title. Again, you have an abstract, which is a summary or overview. You have the full text PDF on the left, which you can click on and download and save or print or do whatever you want with it. But also on the right hand side under Tools, you have this option to email the article to yourself. You can enter your email address. I usually put the title of the article in the subject line. Again, where it says PDF as separate attachment, that's checked off. That means the article that you're emailing yourself from this database, if it's full text in this database, which this one is because we have a PDF here, the PDF will be attached to the email that you send yourself. Generally, what I recommend people to do is in your Outlook, create a folder that says something like this course number or whatever. You can make that the folder name, and everything you send yourself from a database, you can move to that folder so that you have access to your research in a central location that you can access from anywhere. Okay. So again, if you come across something that looks like you want to use or refer to later, you can always email it to yourself from the database. So again, showing you how to use the journal finder and how to find and use the education research guide, just to give you some options for browsing within that subject area. Also, just a few other things for you. If you have trouble, if you run into problems, you can chat with a librarian on the right hand side. You can also click Ask a Librarian down here at the bottom. Again, you have access to the chat, phone numbers that you can call, emailing us, but you can also click Schedule a virtual appointment. If you want to schedule a research consultation with one of us, you have access to this tool. You can go through. This gives you an overview. You can select me. My name's Brandy Horn again, or you can just select no preference. Any of us can help you with this. And then a specific date that you're available. It shows you all the times that are available, and you can click one of those times and click continue. You'll finish the process, and what will happen is you'll get, the system will generate an email to both you and the librarian indicating the date and time that you scheduled your consultation, and there will be a link to Microsoft Teams so that at that date and time you'll click that link and you and the librarian will meet virtually for a research consultation. So the Book Librarian tool is very handy if you want to be able to do that. A couple other things on the library's homepage, or one other thing, is the e-resource login. If you're having trouble accessing the databases or anything from off campus, this kind of gives you an overview and some information for troubleshooting. But again, if you can't figure it out, you can always contact the library. You can call us and we'll see if we can figure out why you can't get on. There's a potential, if it's not letting you log in with your institutional email and your email password, you may have to contact the help desk and make sure that there's not some other issue with your university credentials. But yes, if you have any questions, again, my name is Brandy Horn. You can email me directly at brandyh, brandyh@usca.edu, or you can just, again, use the library chat or a book librarian to schedule a research consultation. All right. Good luck with all that and happy searching.